Welcome, welcome to the second episode of Financial Fridays. I was thinking about it after encountering a number of people on the road who are having some severe financial problems. But some of those problems, believe it or not, were as a result of them not having a budget and not knowing where their money was going every month. I could give you some examples, but I'm not because those individuals might know I'm talking about them. But basically, one of the most important things to do on the road for financial freedom is fixing your budget. If you fix your budget, you can fix your life and reach financial freedom. And in today's video, I'm going to show you some steps to do that. So come on, let's dive in and learn about this budgeting process, shall we? The first thing that you need to do is list your income. And that is knowing what your net income is every month because you need to know what you're working with. Now, for some of you, that may change from month to month. Some of you may have part-time jobs or you may have gig work. But for some of you, you're on a fixed income. You don't do additional seasonal work, so it's going to be the same every month. But every month, list your budget, list what you anticipate your income is going to be so you can work with that. The second thing is track your spending. That is, I cannot tell you how critical that is. And before you even start this budgeting process, I recommend that you track your spending for an entire month. Let me ask you something. If you're going to go on a trip, say I was going from San Diego to New Jersey, wouldn't I have to have a map or directions or know in some way what route I was going to take to get there? Well, it's the same thing with a budget. It's the same thing with managing your money. If you don't know how you're going to get to financial freedom, you're never going to get there. So tracking your spending to start this whole process, I mean every single dime that you spend, keep track of it. And you're asking me, why do I have to do this? Because I've had people who I've worked with say, why do I need to do that? Well, because it highlights things. It will highlight where you're spending money, and sometimes you will be shocked and just surprised at the areas that you are spending so much money in. I know when I first started this process, I was really surprised at how much money I was spending on eating out. And this will highlight areas that you can make an adjustment to. Now, if you come to the end of the month and you have more month than money, there are two things you need to do. One is either increase your income, two is reduce your spending. And tracking your spending will again show you how and where to do that. Even once you start this process, I recommend continuing to do this. The third thing is to list your expenses, your monthly expenses every month. You have either fixed expenses that stay the same every month, or you have variable expenses, expenses that can change. And these are the ones that you have the most control over adjusting. So I'm going to go over just some of the expenses that you would have if you're on the road. And when I'm on the road, these are some of the expenses that I have, so I'll share them with you. Now, everyone may not have tithing, but I do. I pay tithing every month. I not only do tithing every month, but I also make donations to different charities or organizations. So that may not be an expense everyone has. The next two really work together, and that's an emergency fund and savings. If you have not gotten on the road yet, I really strongly urge you, if it's possible, to build up an emergency fund of at least 2 to 3 months living expenses before you hit the road. Because things will come up, such as, a flat tire, maybe a transmission, maybe, I don't know, but things will come up. And if you don't have an emergency savings, you're going to go into debt. And then that's going to cause just extreme stress. And who needs that? And once you get your emergency fund are emergency account funded, then you can start with savings. And that goes to savings that you're going to keep and you're not going to touch. The savings will then transfer over to investments, but we'll be talking about that in a later video. The next item that typically is a fixed expense is phone. So your phone charges, you're going to list insurance because you have to have vehicle insurance. And in some cases, you're going to have medical insurance, but often that's taken out of your check if you're on Social Security. Then variable expenses. Variable expenses are gas, food, mechanical. Under mechanical, I mean maintenance, like oil changes, tires, that type of thing. Then you have laundry, propane, and miscellaneous. Miscellaneous, I'm including any campground fees, because if you're on a budget of $1,000, which is the budget that I'm showing today, you really don't, in my opinion, have the money to be spending on campgrounds. You would be better off, and you probably need to be boondocking. So miscellaneous in this budget is campgrounds on rare occasions, eating out, entertainment, and things that you want to do the spur of the moment. So let's go. I have my notes in hand for this budget. So for a budget of $1,000, you typically have, for tithing, I do a minimum of 10%. So that's going to be $100. You're going to have for savings and emergency fund, as I said, I'm putting those together. That's going to be $100. First it's going into emergency, then it's transferring over into savings. Phone is going to be about $40 a month. And I'm sorry, excuse me. My hand, sorry. Phone is going to be about $60 a month. And I have insurance will be about $40 a month. Now, insurance is the auto insurance. Now, the variable expenses, this is where you can really, make a difference and you can adjust your budget. I have gas at $5 a gallon and I have it at $200. So what that is you're going to be able to drive probably about 200 miles based on my math. If my math is wrong, let me know. So you're going to determine how many miles you travel based on how much you have in your budget. So if you spend less on food, then you'd have more money to spend on gas and you can travel more. If you spend less on laundry or propane or miscellaneous, then you can make these adjustments. These things should come out and be paid immediately at the first of the month. I strongly urge an envelope system where you put each of these amounts in an envelope and you take out as you go. Now from food, I have a budget of $180 a month. Again, if you get some food from a food bank or if you have other sources of food, that may be less and you can put it into gas or you can put it into laundry or other things. However, the more that you travel, the more that you're going to need oil changes and the more wear and tear on your tires, so this will go up. I have mechanical, which is actually auto maintenance. I have that as $50 a month and putting $50 a month away for that. I have laundry as $20 a month. Propane I have as $25 a month. Now that may vary based on how much you cook or if you're in an area where you need to use it for heat, and it may vary from summer to winter. And I have miscellaneous as $55. And $55 is kind of high for miscellaneous, but that's because I included an occasional campground if you choose to, charge up everything or have access to a shower. are any of those things. Plus this is eating out. Plus it's any other things that come up. So this, based on my figures, comes up to $1,000 per month. This is what I would say is a reasonable budget to set for $1,000 net income per month. Now, I know that there are people who have much more income per month than this, and I know that there are people, believe it or not, who have significantly less per month. But this is right, I thought, in the mid-range. So I hope this is helpful. It shows how to set a budget. If you do it differently, if you have a different system for doing your budgeting, or if you find that you have many other items that you add here that I didn't have in here, would you drop something in the comments and let me know? But this is what I think would be a helpful guide. And it's just a guide. I'm not a financial planner. I'm certainly not a financial wizard. But these are some things that I think would be helpful and will get you on a basic start. Go back last week. I have a video of Diane and in the first Financial Friday, and she shared what she's doing and some adjustments she's making based on the current economic environment that we find ourselves in, with gas so high, food so high, inflation going up. And I think you'll find that very interesting. Also, I did a tour of her van. And next Friday, I'm going to actually bring in someone. Her name is Sarah. And Sarah and her husband, Aaron, were on the road for a year. And she shares how initially they really didn't do a lot of budgeting. They didn't keep track. And it was really quite difficult that first year. And she shares how they put a budget together, how they did it, and she shares how it really turned their life around. So again, I'm calling this video, Fix Your Budget, Fix Your Life, Find Financial Freedom. So if you like this, would you give it a thumbs up and let me know if you want me to do more of these. But tune in next week and check out Diane's video last week. May your journeys be filled with joy and blessings, and I will see you soon and down the road. Bye, everyone.